What's going on, guys? Welcome to my all new desk setup. Let's get right into it. Now, in case this is your guys' first time to this channel, previously I had one giant setup that included both my gaming PC and also my MacBook for all my creative needs. But once I moved into this office, I actually made the decision to split up my two setups. So behind the camera, I have an entire dedicated gaming PC, which I have a whole video on if you guys want to check that out. But right here is my main creative and productivity setup where I spend the majority of my time, and that's what we're going to be going through today. And I absolutely love this space, so I'm excited to share it with you guys. Now, there's quite a few things in this setup, so I'm going to try to go through it as quickly as I can, but I will be sure to link everything down below if you want to check out anything more for yourself. And while you're down there, be sure to drop this video a thumbs up, make sure to subscribe to the channel. So let's go ahead and hop right into it. So first thing up is the actual desk itself, and I went with the tried and true method, the IKEA desk setup. So the tabletops are actually countertops from IKEA. It kind of has a concrete look, and I'm a really big fan of it. And that's sitting on top of a few different things from IKEA. We have some normal table legs, we have a couple sawhorse legs, and then also an IKEA Alex drawer. This just allows me to have a very easy kind of L-shaped desk. I'm a really big fan of an L setup because it gives me an area that I can film and create content on, all while still having a giant surface space for my monitors and computer, all that kind of stuff. I think these are all pretty self-explanatory, but the Alex drawer is crazy popular for a reason. You can get it for a pretty good price. It holds a bunch of stuff, and that's just where I keep the easy access things I need, like hard drives, cables, notepads, etc. I've been rocking a somewhat similar IKEA desk setup now for years, and I still absolutely love it. Now, you guys may have caught something underneath my desk there, and that's actually a dog bed. We have two dogs here in our home, and obviously I want them hanging out with me here in my office when I'm getting some work done. Sometimes they actually offer to help edit, but then they usually just fall asleep. Well, that is for our small dog, Daphne. She's a long-haired Chihuahua, and it just kind of fit perfectly underneath the desk there, so she loves hanging out down there for me. And don't worry, our other dog, Mocha, who's a long-haired German Shepherd, she also has a dog bed in the office, so they can both hang out in here. But I thought I would mention that because people have asked me what that is before, and yeah, dog beds, come on. Now we got to talk about arguably the most important part of the setup, which is the chair I'm sitting in. So this is the Herman Miller Embody chair, and this is the Logitech Gaming Edition. And this is a chair that was on my wish list for years, and it is extremely expensive. Like, some people freak out when they see the price tag. I was lucky enough, Herman Miller sent this out to me, and now that I've been using it for about 6 months, I will say it lives up to the hype. And there are days where I'm genuinely sitting in this chair working for 12 plus hours. So having a comfortable chair is really, really important. And even if they didn't send me this, after I've used it now, I absolutely would need to buy one for myself. So it definitely is a hefty price tag, but I absolutely love this chair. It also looks sick too, which is obviously important to me. So let's move on to the main workhorse of the entire setup, which is my M3 Max MacBook Pro. Now, this is a 16-inch model, and I absolutely spec'd this thing out last year when I picked it up. So we have the M3 Max 16-inch MacBook Pro, 2 terabytes of internal storage, and then I maxed out the memory to 128 gigs. So this thing is absolutely ridiculous, but I built this thing to last. Shout out to Ford. And even though the M4s actually just got announced, this machine has never skipped a beat for me, and I absolutely love it. I spend a good amount of time sitting here editing, but I also do travel quite a bit. So I personally just like having a MacBook set up because I can just unplug that thing, take it on the go, and then when I'm back home, plug it back in, and I'm ready to rock. I know some people prefer the 14-inch size for traveling, which you would think makes sense, but I actually prefer the 16-inch because whenever I got to my location with the 14-inch model, I just didn't quite have enough screen real estate to do my creative stuff that I needed, at least easily. We're talking video editing, photo editing, etc. So I would prefer having a little bit larger of a machine that's easy to plug in here when I'm home, and whenever I take it on the go, I have plenty of screen real estate for whatever I need to do. And kind of going back to how I split up my setups, my gaming PC is completely dedicated to gaming, nothing else. And then my MacBook is all of my creative needs and just kind of everyday stuff like emails, paying bills, watching YouTube, whatever. So at this point, you guys have probably figured out I have a lot of tech. I think that's pretty obvious by now, but it's essential for me to be able to keep my devices charged up whether I'm here at home or on the go. And that's exactly where the sponsor of today's video comes in. So shout out to Anker. So the first thing I want to show you guys is this Anker Prime power bank. Now, this thing is an absolute tank with over 27,000 milliamps. That's going to be able to charge your small devices multiple times. Or what I personally use it with is it has 140 watt single port charging that's able to charge my 16-inch MacBook Pro to 50% in about 28 minutes. That's insane and absolutely critical for a creative like me when I'm gone traveling. It has 2 USB-C ports on it, 1 USB-A port. It has a display where it shows real-time stats, like the percent charge that it has left left, or even showing how long it's going to take to charge the device it's plugged into. And with the intuitive smart app, you can see even more. But this power bank actually wirelessly charges on top of the Anker Prime base. What I like about the base is it has 100-watt ultra fast charging, and you can charge up to 4 devices at once, 2 USB-C ports, 1 USB-A port, and then the wireless charger on top for the power bank. And what I like about this combo is I can plug in my devices here at my desk setup into the base. Things like my phone, my iPad, my headphones, and then whenever I hit the road, I can just grab the power bank off the top, and I know it's gonna be charged up, ready to go, since it charges wirelessly on top of the base. It's really, really convenient and nice. And you know what? I also wanna mention this Anker 3-in-1 portable charger while we're at it. This is also a great option because it's extremely small, but still powerful. This has 10,000 milliamps, which is plenty to charge stuff like your phone or smaller devices. But here's why I really like it. It has a built-in USB-C cable, so you don't have to bring a cable with you. It also has a built-in foldable AC plug, so you can make sure this is charged up. It has a display that shows you the percent left it has. And then it even has a USB-C port if you need to plug something directly into it as well. If you've watched any of my videos here on this channel before, you know I've talked about this exact device multiple times. And that's why I'm actually stoked to talk about Anker products within my content. I genuinely use them on a daily basis already. So it's extremely easy for me to talk about and recommend them to you guys. So if you want to check out these Anker products for yourself, they'll be the first links down below. And a huge shout out to Anker for sponsoring today's video and supporting the channel. So let's talk about the monitors. First up, we have the Apple Studio Display, which I actually have a couple of videos on my channel already talking about this. It might be my favorite monitor ever. It looks really good. It actually sounds really good too. And I actually picked it up in the nano texture display, which kind of just gives it a matte finish, which I'm a really big fan of because I have so many lights here in my office for filming content. It's nice that it doesn't have any reflections on the screen. So absolutely love that monitor. And you guys will see I actually have a second monitor right now. This one's from BenQ. They sent this one out to me to check out, and it's amazing for photo editing. The color accuracy is really, really nice. So a recent thing for me is I decided to add the second display to see if I just kind of like having a 2-monitor setup. And yeah, now I absolutely love it. I've been impressed with the BenQ monitor. The colors look great, comes in at an affordable price. But for me, in my OCD brain, I think long-term, I'll probably pick up a second Apple Studio Display just so everything kind of matches. But I think that's a really solid option for people out there as well. Oh yeah, and if you guys like the wallpapers that you see on the monitors, that's actually from my latest custom wallpaper pack. There's some absolute fire designs for both desktop and also for your phone. So I'll definitely leave a link to those down below as well. Next up is the newest iPad mini, which is the iPad 7. Now I've been a big believer in the iPad mini for a very long time. For me, my MacBook is so important. I'm traveling with that no matter what. And I always found myself sometimes with the larger iPads, it was a little too redundant for me to travel with. So I personally love the iPad mini. It's the perfect sidekick for my daily reminders, which is kind of like my to-do list, my calendar, and Apple Notes. Those three is kind of what my life runs off of. So I upgraded to the new iPad mini. I absolutely love it so far. And if you guys want a full dedicated video on it, let me know down below. Maybe that's something we can do. So moving on, let's talk about some of the other tech on the desk. First up, we have the Logitech MX Master keyboard. Paired with that, I have the MX Master 3 mouse. This mouse took me a second to get used to, but now that I've used it for the past year or so, I don't think I could edit videos without it. The side scrolling and just how comfortable it is in the hand. I absolutely love this combo and I highly recommend it, especially for creatives out there. Now for the headphones that I'm currently using at my setup is the Beats Studio Pro. These specific ones are a Stussy collab that I absolutely had to get my hands on. If you guys follow me on my socials, you might know a funny story involving these. I left the first ones on an airplane. I can admit it, it's fine. But you know what? I picked up another pair and that's just truly how much I enjoy them. I think Beats, for whatever reason, sometimes get a bad rep, but these new Beats Studio Pro, they sound amazing. They're super comfortable. The noise canceling is great. The transparency mode is also very good. And I just personally like the way that they look. So those are the headphones I'm rocking here at my setup. And they are really well priced compared to some other higher end noise canceling over the ear headphones. So I would recommend checking some of those out for yourself. I actually own 2 pairs. And then those are sitting on just a very cheap headphone stand that I think was like less than 10 bucks. I'll make sure that's linked below too. Now I want to tell you guys about a few of the fun things involved in my setup because I think it's extremely important to be surrounded by things that you're passionate about or help inspire you to kind of cultivate that creative environment. This giant canvas up here is one of my favorite Kobe Bryant quotes. I'm a huge basketball fan, a big Kobe fan, so when he passed, I actually threw together this design in Photoshop and printed this out on a canvas myself. I get asked about that thing all the time, but I hate to say it, that is a one of one. But it's one of those things where you can just kind of glance up, get inspired by it, and motivated to get back to work. Over on the side, and I guess actually right here too, I have some of my favorite pairs of sneakers. Sometimes I'll display my latest pickup or one of of my favorite pairs, but I'm a huge sneaker guy, especially when there's collabs like the Travis Scott ones. I just love being surrounded by things I'm passionate about, and sneakers are a huge inspiration for me. I have a giant oversized counter on my wall, which I really enjoy. That way I can just kind of glance up, see what day of the week it is, or maybe I'm planning out due dates for different brand deals, etc. I think it's a cool aesthetic as well as I actually use it, so it comes in handy all the time. Next up is the giant custom neon sign for my company called Lab Culture. In case you guys didn't know, I recently launched my own brand. You probably see me wearing some of this stuff right now, but Lab Culture is all about cultivating an environment of like-minded creatives. So this is obviously a huge source of inspiration for me, but also I really enjoy the look of a neon sign within my content. So this was just a no-brainer to put up there on the wall. The light you see behind me is the Aperture 120D Mark II. That is the Aperture lantern attachment on top. And then that's actually sitting on something called a Varipole, which allows it to be wedged in that corner without having a big tripod base. That's one of my main light sources here in my office. And if you guys want to know more about the lighting and everything else going on in my office, I actually have a dedicated full office tour that you guys can check out as well if you want to see a little bit more in depth for the lighting and just everything going on here in this office. I have a couple sneaker candles that sit on my monitor stands. Funny enough, 2 different people at different times gifted me those candles, but they perfectly just fit into my setup and my vibe, so I have those on my desk. I also have a Lab Culture coaster because I'm always sipping on something when I'm sitting here working. Okay, so this is a fun one. It's actually a wooden sake glass from a brand I like called Sushi Club. And no, I'm not using it to actually drink anything out of. I actually use it to drop my SD cards, so I know I need to dump that footage later. But these are the little things I'm talking about that you should add into your setup to make it feel more unique and make it feel more like you, and kind of serve as a little hit of inspiration whenever you might need it. And this lives right under one of my monitors. So that is going to wrap up this desk setup. And as I mentioned, I spent a ton of time here in my office, specifically at this desk. So I really put a lot of thought and effort into everything that goes into this setup, and I truly couldn't be happier with the outcome. Again, I will link everything down below that I possibly can, especially those Anchor products. But if you made it this far into the video, I appreciate you guys. Let me know in the comments down below what you think I'm missing in my setup. And if you guys want to check out my entire office tour video or my gaming desk setup, I will link both those videos as well. Don't forget to drop this video a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe to the channel as well. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.